America's economic vitality. The way they resolved these early challenges reverberates to this day. To finance the American Revolution, the Continental Congress issued the nation's first paper money, Continentals, intended to be redeemable on demand in specie. Specie was simply gold and silver coins used as money. With little gold or silver to be had and broad public opposition to taxation, the Continental Congress had no source of revenue to back the increasing supply of currency printed to pay for the war. The states refused their pledge to provide voluntary payments to Congress. The paper bills quickly became worthless. Not worth a continental, as the saying went. As their value fell, Congress printed even more. By November 1776, after printing $19 million, $1 of paper still purchased $1 in goods. 3 years later, with $226 million in circulation, it required $40 of Continentals to buy $1 worth of goods. In April of 1779, General Washington complained that a wagon load of money will scarcely purchase a wagon load of provisions. Although Congress passed laws to force the acceptance of the paper money at an equal value with gold or silver, the outcome was that no one would exchange anything of value for the near-worthless paper. Washington's quartermaster could find no one who would sell any food for paper money in order to supply the troops at Valley Forge. As a consequence, the Founding Fathers struggled with devastating inflation and an enormous debt burden. $12 million in foreign debt and $44 million in domestic debt. State governments owed almost $25 million, mostly in Revolutionary War debts. It is estimated that these debts were equal to 40% of the value of the entire economy at the time. In contrast to the highly developed and sophisticated Dutch and British financial markets, the early financial system lacked uniformity, stability, and soundness. There was no common currency, no banking system, and the economy lay in ruins. The U.S. was bankrupt, having defaulted on domestic debt and some of the foreign debt. How would they reduce inflation, build a sound currency, repay war debts, and establish the creditworthiness of a new nation? The ratification of the Constitution in the summer of 1788 laid the basis for a financial revolution that would transform the financial system and determine the economic conditions that could best fulfill the young nation's promise.
My stars, what are our young people coming to these days?
Oh, Granny, everybody dresses like this.
Well, I don't approve of it.
Material culture traits like clothing change faster than non-material culture traits. The youth still feels he should walk on the street side of his companion, even though the material reasons, such as muddy streets, no longer exist.
Economic growth and technological progress improved our standard of living. On the other hand, easy credit, inflating currency issuance, and rising prices lured many to risk borrowing in order to join in the apparent prosperity of the time. Bank managers urged borrowers to take all the paper they could fabricate.
Now what are we going to do with all this money?
Tell you what, you just write down everything you've ever wanted.
All right. I like this part of it.
Go ahead, just splurge. I'll write mine down too.
Let's see. Rolleiflex, fur jacket, some new china. Hey, this is fun.
The doubling of commodity prices between 1815 and 1816 compelled confident borrowers to indulge eager lenders by plunging into debt for the purchase of land, seed, and equipment, dreaming of endless profits from crops not even under cultivation. Farmers and exporters prospered from the upward march of commodity prices. Pent-up demand for imported luxury items at the war's end unleashed a buying craze that made many importers and merchants instantly wealthy. the mania seized urban and rural real estate and government land, tempting individuals of every profession to plunge into debt, chasing rising values that appeared real at the time. Land sales averaging $2 to $4 million between 1815 and 1816 peaked at almost $14 million in 1818. Golden dreams of fortunes to be acquired without toil percolated from city to town to village to countryside.
You like your Macintosh better than me, don't you, Dave? Dave? Can you hear me, Dave?
We've spent over $1 billion to create the world's largest high-speed network. Now with 56K, connections are faster than ever.
It's fast.
Are you the cable guy?
Actually, I'm a Verizon Fios tech. I bring fiber optics right to your door on 3 different spectrums of light. You got your 1310, your 1490, and the 1550.
Okay, let's do it. What are your plans for the future? Well, I wouldn't mind living here. Now, what's your passion, Stuart?
I like to trade online. You ever heard of Ameritrade?
I'm a stockbroker, son.
Dad, he only pays $8 a trade.
Give a kid a computer and he thinks he can beat the market.
I don't want to beat the market. I want to grab it, sock it in the gut a couple times, turn it upside down, hold it by the pants, shake him out till all those pockets empty, all that spare change. Let's see.
That would be the WAMU free checking account. It comes with free checks for life.
For life? Wow.
Did you have a nightmare? No, I'm worried about this family's financial future. Does your retirement plan provide predictability of income and protection against market risk? Do you have good supplemental health insurance? What about estate planning? Car insurance? Dents are easy to fix, but liability's the nightmare.
Buddy, we're with AIG.
Oh. Don't get up. I'll tuck myself in.
Planning on cashing in your biggest investment? You can make more on your home if you sell it on your own.
Yeah, I spent about 25 hours on my first deal and I made over $10,000.
18 hours and making $20,000 profit.
We all know that house prices have been going nowhere but up.
I bought the house behind me with no money down, without using any super fancy techniques, and I sold it in 5 weeks for over $100,000 profit.
Currently, my net worth is at $1.4 million, and my cash flow is $4,800 a month.
$4,800 a month.
I had no idea it was so easy to make money in real estate without using my own money.
Whether the festivities entail the frontier fortunes fed by the banks of the early 1800s, or the Wall Street financial innovation behind the modern tech and real estate crazes, the allure to gamble with other people's money seduces smart people into thinking they can't lose. When the revelry captivates the public imagination, the stampede to join the game whets everyone's appetite for speculation. Rousing us from our seemingly ordinary lives, the call to pursue effortless riches cannot go unheeded. From the early 1800s to the roaring 20s a century later, the ravenous mood for speculation would take hold of the nation, blowing increasingly intricate and more complex financial bubbles almost every 20 years, like clockwork. In each of these preceding booms, we see a germinal reflection of recent experience, the clamor produced by animal spirits unleashed on the markets.
We all know that house prices have been going nowhere but up.
I want to expand IRAs so that young people can save tax-free to buy a first home. Tonight, I propose a new tax cut for home ownership that says to every middle-income working family in this country, if you sell your home, you will not have to pay a capital gains tax on it, ever, not ever. I want every American to be able to hear those beautiful words, welcome home.